I think there's so much aversion to risk-taking today, and I don't think that's the right direction we should be going. You have to take risks if you want to learn anything about yourself. You have to take risks if you want to expand kind of the self-imposed walls we put around ourselves. I think that is what's interesting to me about us as a species, is that we can do that, and that is how we move forward, how we create things, how we have ideas, is by taking risks and being a little different or being passionate about something. When you're out in these big mountains, every decision is unique, every interaction with people is intense. The why to doing this isn't for the afterwards. It's just so incredible. There's nothing like it.
All right. My name is Brette Harrington. Where should I look at you? Okay. I had heard about skiing in Baffin and read some reports about other expeditions.
We had been locked down. We hadn't been able to really leave Western Canada.
When we were able to start submitting proposals to go on expeditions again, I was like, Christina, we could try going to Baffin Island. It's really incredible.
I mean, I don't think efficient is the word that you'd use if you're going to Baffin. I live in British Columbia. Baffin's in Canada. Like, I wasn't leaving the country yet. It's so far away.
Christina and I were like, okay, we're going on this big trip to the Arctic alone. Like, it just seemed really committing, just the two of us. So we invited Hilaree.
Hilaree was the first female ski mountaineer that I really looked at as a professional athlete, but also just a person moving through the mountains and being strong, being powerful, being beautiful, and skiing some of the world's like most insane ski lines.
And once I start like talking about it and it's like verbally out there, I'm like, oh shit, I'm committed at this point. Now it's really gonna happen.
And Hilaree was the one who suggested Emily come. It's pretty crazy that I've never gone on a trip with my sister.
And we're not sisters.
She has an incredible reputation as just like an all-around athlete. And Hilaree really advocated for Emily, and we trusted Hilaree. But also Emily was so psyched. And that was like, hands down, yeah, let's bring Emily, because she's just bringing more energy.
The Baffin trip just sort of fell into place. And then about a month before the trip, I found out I was pregnant, which was surprising, but not surprising, if that makes any sense. I didn't really think it was that possible for me to continue my career past motherhood and pregnancy and all that. It just didn't have that many examples. And then women like Hilaree came along and kind of showed me that it was possible. And so through the years, I watched her essentially just do it, pave the way, be that pioneer.
When I'm away, it's what I love. And I'm so passionate about it. And I just feel that if I can convey that to my kids, then they understand and they're proud of me and they get something out of that. They see me as a person, as a passionate person, not just their mom, but their mom plus.
Now here I was in this position of being pregnant, having the opportunity to go on an expedition with Hilaree to one of the most remote places I've ever been, and kind of having to make the decision of if it was appropriate for me or not to go. It's all very up in the air and really uncertain, basically until the day I left.
We are on our flight from Yellowknife to Clyde River.
At the last minute, everything kind of fell into place, really thanks to Christina.
We're getting there. It's getting colder. Every time we stop, it's colder.
We had chartered a flight from Yellowknife to Clyde River, and our pilots on the way up were like, do you guys want to fly over the fjord? And as a skier, any sort of mountain traveler, as soon as you can get, overview of the mountains that you're about to travel in. You take that, like, cameras out, everyone's on one side of the plane, and we're flying up the fjord, and you just see, like, world-class couloirs right and left. And there's this, like, crazy buzz with the whole team. We had just spent months grinding away on logistics and traveling and bags missing, but then all of a sudden you're looking down into the zone. We turn the corner into the Walker Citadel, and there's this huge hanging face guarded by a giant ice rack with this, like, beautiful ribbon exit couloir out onto the fjord. Immediately, I was called to that line. It just gave this whole trip a purpose for me, and I knew that Brette was 2 rows up, also buzzing.
Christina has a vision beyond anybody else's vision for the mountains that I have ever known. What she's looking for in skiing is a cross between skiing and alpinism.
Brette, who's just got all the tools that she needs to do anything and move through terrain, and she's so extremely impressive.
Lift heavy stuff.
Lift heavy stuff. Not very much. Dude, there is a lot of snow.
Yeah.
It's like pretty full on. Here's the view at our hotel. There's a whole lot of ice. Pretty fucking beautiful out here.
Ready. I have many layers in my pack to add on in case it's like cold.
I'm ready for the cold. This thing is really nice.
It's gonna be about 150 kilometers on the snowmobiles, and we don't have much shelter. So we're gonna be as bundled up in these big down suits as possible.
We're like 5 hours in. We're still not
Halfway. That first
Lots of
hour
things.
was epic.
Dude, the first hour was super epic. Everything after Clyde River got hard.
Oh man, it took us 14 hours to get into the fjord. It had snowed a meter before we left, so we had a lot of challenges getting our sled stuck.
It felt like a real, legit expedition.
From leaving my house to arriving the Samford Fjord to where we were base camping was 6 days of travel in my home country.
What time is it?
2:30 in the morning. I'm pretty sure.
It's 2:30 in the morning.
Eating ramen with my fingers because I couldn't find my screen. Right before we got here, there was a very big storm that dropped a lot of snow and was super heavy winds out of the north. And we just need to figure out what that means for the couloirs. Because we saw a lot of natural avalanches when we were coming in, which is obviously a bit of a red flag.
After like more than a year of thinking about this trip, preparing and planning, and everyone's stoked. Just putting our ski kit together.
Gotta get my skins.
Okay, I gotta go.
Helmet. I want to forget my helmet.
We're gonna head out across the fjord and look at one of the couloirs just around that rock buttress.
Yeah, it's kind of stormy today, but the next 3 days are gonna be beautiful, so we're gonna take it a little bit easier today so that we're not destroyed for the next 3 days.
In however many 40 expeditions in my life, there's very few that really stand out as places I want to go back to, and this has always been one of them because it's just such a special place. It's mysterious because you don't know what lines you're going to ski or even where they are, and you just kind of cruise around and you see like the start of what might be a crack in this 5,000-foot wall, and you get closer, and as you get closer, it starts to open up, and then all of a sudden you're looking at a 4,000-foot couloir that, yeah, it's the most incredible thing you've ever seen. This is a very special place, and I'm like ecstatic to be here.
We wanted to get on the smallest thing, you know, to assess the snow. You don't want to just like drive across the fjord and get on the biggest thing. But finding something small there is hard.
I'll take you with me, make it in my garden back at the beginning. And now in your arms, your faith is for you pitch me against your holy father. It seems that I am winning.
Thanks, Mel. Emily keeps wearing my same outfit.
Copy me.
I'm glad it seems to serve you that I was born a daughter and all a son. Or if you go down, I guess I'll take you with me. Screaming like sound and hopeful like singing. And I will tell you now that I'm not even singing. There's no escape for a son.
Hey, Christina. Nice one. Cool. Emily eating breakfast. Woke up when we woke up and skied when we wanted to ski. Except for the day that Christina and I skied Polar Moon. That day really felt different.
Polar Moon had never been skied before. So combining the confidence in the snowpack, the quality of the snow, and the temperatures that we were given, it was like perfect to try this mega line, Brette.
That line for sure we were going to try. We just didn't know when. We wanted to warm up to the ski conditions. We wanted to see how we felt.
It looked really intimidating and kind of like gave me chills a little bit when I thought about it.
It starts with this Y-shaped couloir that leads to a big serac, and the serac is hanging, and then it drops into a lower couloir that leads to the sea ice all the way to the bottom.
And the day came when they wanted to go ski it, and I just remember like this very visceral feeling of like, I do not want to be there. Like, that's not for me on this trip. But I didn't know if anyone else on the team was gonna feel that way. But then I just heard Hilaree be like, yeah, no, I don't think that's for me. I don't think I want to do that either. Like, let's just go skiing. And it was, I don't know if she really wanted to ski the line. Was it some, did you do that for me? Like, or, what was your feeling? But she was like, you and I will just go skiing. It means a lot that she did that.
And heading up over there. Skiing a different line from Lusti and Brette today. They're going for Bernardar.
There's a south-facing couloir that takes us right to the top. We're gonna start our climb here, approach the couloir to the south, and then ski this line top down with 3, maybe 4 rappels in the middle.
Back.
Super hot, super thirsty.
It's like climbing with cement around your feet. Oh my God. How high do you think we've gone so far? Tough going.
We like tried to climb a couloir and turned around because it got too gnarly, like dry tooling and mixed climbing. And, again, we were like, nope, we're good. We're just gonna ski. And so we just skied down. And then we realized that those guys were still not down from their line. And so Hilaree was like, let's go ski this other couloir. And we went to this other little couloir and skied that.
Okay, we're in couloir number 2 today. This is mini golf, we're calling it, because it's only 1,500 feet. And we're kind of halfway up it.
And it was just like this truly special day with, you know, me and her.
Okay, you got this.
Woo! And I'd actually never really had a day like that with her in all those years.
Summit of the core. That was so fucking hard.
Because of the extreme winds there, the upper part of the pitch was blown down to glacier ice.
If it's too icy, your skis will just slide and be super dangerous. So I pounded in a piton. I could only find one. You usually, when you're building alpine rappels like this, you want to have a backup, but there wasn't really an option. It's not moving.
And we're able to like rappel over this just wind-blown, steep rollover until you just get a little more sheltered in the line where snow was able to accumulate. And then at that point, you just like slowly let go of the rope.
We pull the ropes, and then we ended up just skiing all the way to the top of the glacier.
Having been here before and gone by that line and didn't even consider it to be something that you could descend on skis. That was beyond what I was even willing to look at in terms of technicality.
The Serac was way bigger than we had imagined. It was huge. It was like a 200-meter Serac.
We're just above the Serac ice.
Brette wrapped first.
Yeah, and maybe before you crest the edge, just let me know if the rope's
Got to the ledge, called me that she was secure and I could wrap down.
We ended up using the piton anchor, doing a 60-meter wrap. I built a V-thread. We did another 60-meter rappel. And then she wraps down to me.
Brette! Whew! There's a pretty good core shot in the orange rope.
Oh, fuck. Okay. I guess we can check it out.
Like the whole sheath is fucking gone.
Okay.
And I was just like, shit. It fucking kept repelling.
Yeah.
Still shaking. Is it coming?
Not really. I start to try and pull the ropes, and the ropes are completely stuck, not even budging at all.
We were now attached to this hanging Serac cliff, which Seracs are known to be unstable.
I can't fathom what's going on up there right now. It's so weird. We wanted to get out of there as soon as possible.
And we still have like 40 or 50 meters and we're hanging off this, like, where are we? What are we doing?
Do you want to get as high as you can and cut them? And then we had like 10 meters of rope to do the final rappels. Okay. At that point, we were just kind of like, this is just a classic scenario of alpine climbing. You always hear about it, where the alpinists have to cut their ropes and do like 100 rappels.
Right, our last anchor, we end up just basically wrap splatting onto the snow, like not tying a knot in the end of the rope and just like flying the bottom like 2 meters. The rope didn't exactly touch. In that moment, it was pretty wild to like feel that was like the most far from home or anything comfortable I had ever felt, you know? But also just being like, I'm here with my best friend. We're still smiling. It was just neat to go through that extremely cruxy situation with Brette and get through it.
And then we like got to the base of the polar moon, watched Lusti and Brette come down and celebrate with them. It was the only day when the group separated and came back together, and everyone was just happy and excited. And feeling so accomplished as a team, even though we had parted ways and done something different. It was like everyone did exactly what they wanted to do. And there was a lot of mutual compassion and respect and stoke.
We're doing something right. We're really moving forward. You look at that and you're like, this was a first ascent. This was them seeing that line, them figuring out how to put it together and executing on it and doing it to a very high level. And to me, that's like I get goosebumps just thinking about it. It's so fucking awesome. I think each of us is in a very different phase of life too, which sometimes can maybe make us not relate to each other perhaps, but in this particular case, it's been awesome.
I think that was a really nice thing about our trip and our team, is that we were all just really comfortable being ourselves around each other. There was no competition. We had so many fun experiences together, just laughing all the time.
It was just like floating on friendship. Yeah, to me, that's like what I took away from it. And the strongest memory, and which says a lot because we were there in probably the most premium conditions you could ever ask for. And the skiing was second to being there and sharing that together.
I think the true essence of why we do any of this is that feeling of fulfillment, of satisfaction at just literally having a day, having an experience. The objective does not actually matter.
It's all about not focusing on the past and not worrying about the future and being present.
Don't wait till I do wrong. Don't wait till I put up a fight. You want my heart. Without a question, don't wait for
Yeah, I think there's always a possibility of not coming back. I don't think it's just with expeditions, it's just with anything, anytime you put yourself out there.
We were sitting around a fire that night, and there was this crazy shooting star that was so bright and went so deep, I swear it would have hit the ground. I'll never forget that shooting star because it was unreal. And then, the next morning I woke up to a text message telling me about the accident.
I was asleep and Adrian had woken up to catch a flight really early in the morning. And he came back into our room and he sat on the bed and he turned to me and he said, "Hilaree fell while descending Manaslu." Is there here? Yeah, whatever. Oh, yeah, we're watching this.
I don't ever go into an expedition thinking that. I just, it's just not somewhere my brain goes. I have always been pretty conservative and very thoughtful in how some of these things play out, but obviously that doesn't mean shit doesn't happen. Stuff happens, and it happens in your backyard, it happens in the big mountains. I know I'm putting myself more in harm's way, but I'm also like really alive and really happy and living intensely in these moments. And I have explained that to my kids. We talk about death, we talk about, you know, all of this stuff, and it means that much to me that it's worth it. Life is crazy, comes at you from left field, so there's always that possibility.
Those arms, though.
No, the whole time.
I'm like, damn. The arms and the eyes, they just melt you, don't they?
I hate talking about grief. I hate it. I've spent so long in grief and talking about it that I usually just turn away from it. Like, I don't like somber feelings. I don't watch somber videos. I just avoid it at all costs. And that started a couple of years ago. Like, just to like move on and take things a little more lighthearted. And so with Hilaree, like every time I've been talking about Hilaree, I try and keep it like remembering who Hilaree is and not like thinking about who she was. Thinking like Hilaree is a beautiful person. And yeah, I think that's what I've been trying to do.
Life is fleeting, and if you don't fill yourself up while you're here, what's the point? And whatever it is you do to fill yourself up, you know, if it's walking your dog in the morning or skiing off the summit of Lhotse or going to Baffin with the most badass chicks, it's like, what's the point if you're not feeling life to the fullest?
All her words about pregnancy and motherhood and all of these things that we talked about in Baffin, they keep rotating around me, especially now that my baby's here, Earthside. It's kind of all come back. Through the years, I sort of watched her, you know, watched her process as a mother and how she handled it, and it really helped me a lot. Like, make the decision to even have a kid, like, to take that step, to be like, oh, I can still do this. I can still be passionate and have a career and also be a mother. Like, it's hard. Losing her and grappling with that loss and then welcoming my son into the world. It's just been a wild, intense ride full of a lot of questions and a lot of sadness, but a lot of celebration and a lot of, I guess, just reflection on what it all means. And it's like, I don't really have all the answers right now. I don't really know exactly how it all feels or what it all means to me. I just know that it was a really, really monumental period of my life. And it all started with that trip. He was there, sort of.
Yeah.
He was there.
You gotta meet her.
He was, yeah, you kind of got to meet her. He was a little amoeba, but he was there.
Oh my God, the couloirs, he skied already.
He skied some stuff.
He's got some purse.
He does.
There used to only be one place for a woman in any part of this outdoor industry, and I think that is what is changing, and so now we can become role models for each other.
Somebody that powerful and special, I think that it's so important to like continue to share that story for generations because of what she did and what she meant. It's like, she's a legend, you know, and those stories need to be told. And if we can tell just a little bit of that and share that and to like continue passing that on is so, so important. To me, Hilaree was like the pinnacle of mountain athlete and like everything that you could imagine to be.
Anything that kind of feeds your souls and you allow yourself to take the risks required to make that dream, that goal, that passion more of a reality, then by virtue of that sort of path you've chosen, you get to know yourself better versus not having a passion, not being able to take those risks. I mean, I don't know if I should relate it directly to a passion, but I can't, that's just how my brain works. I can't think outside of that.
Like, I had been given this little window of opportunity to be like blessed by her. and learn from her, just like take different aspects of her character and absorb that and feel her energy.
Another thing for me about being up high is it feels like you're so close to whatever it is that separates just our spiritual world from our physical world. And the higher you get in elevation, it's like that, the air just gets thinner. And I mean that like more metaphorically than actually like physically. And you're just in touch with a lot more things. And being almost, being a little spiritual there, but yeah. I found this path, you know, early on it didn't have a lot of direction to me, but now I've been doing it for 20 years. I've been on 40+ expeditions. I've been all over the world. I've had friends die. I've had the most beautiful sunsets. All of those things come together to propel me, and it makes all that suffering worth it.
I wanna go to the mountains alone by plane, take it home, throw out my phone, tell everyone I'm gone. I'll be back in a moment, remember that, keep track. Cause I got a soul that could eat yours whole. I got money in my pocket, pockets are sewn. I got a whole lot of something, nothing is right. So pull up a chair, stay the night.